Losing weight can feel like a roller coaster, full of ups, downs, and being thrown for loops, like when someone brings donuts into the office, or your kids' dino nuggets start giving you that look again. That's why there's Noom. They combine GLP-1s to quiet the food noise with healthy habits that help you keep it quiet, even if you get off the meds. Their program is designed to make weight loss a smooth ride, helping you understand what drives you, so you can build better habits to not just lose weight, but keep it off. Noom. Lose for keeps. Get started at Noom.com. Not all customers will clinically qualify for medications. Individual results may vary.
Carter's has your family covered for every summer first steps, first swim lesson, or first sleepover. Our clothes help kids and parents shine, thanks to comfy design and easy dressing details. Visit Carters.com to shop the latest styles or find a Carter store near you.
Queen Carvania stood haloed by the morning sun. An army hung on her every word.
My champions, I have sold my chariot on Carvana. 'Twas a lovely SUV, an inexplicably queenly offer. They're even coming to the castle to collect it. Tonight, we feast! An offer you can feast on. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Losing weight can feel like a roller coaster, full of ups, downs, and being thrown for loops, like when someone brings donuts into the office, or your kids' dino nuggets start giving you that look again. That's why there's Noom. They combine GLP-1s to quiet the food noise with healthy habits that help you keep it quiet, even if you get off the meds. Their program is designed to make weight loss a smooth ride, helping you understand what drives you, so you can build better habits to not just lose weight, but keep it off. Noom. Lose for keeps. Get started at Noom.com. Not all customers will clinically qualify for medications. Individual results may vary.
I like things my way. My coffee, my schedule, and my treatment. So I talked to my doctor about self-injecting with the Vyvgart Hytrulo pre-filled syringe, which contains efgartigimod alpha and hyaluronidase QVFC. It's injected under your skin, subcutaneously. It means I can inject in my space, on my time. It's my treatment, my way. Visit VyvgartMyWay.com. That's VYVGART MyWay.com. And talk to your doctor about Vyvgart Hytrulo. Brought to you by argenx.
Hello, I'm Sarah, and welcome to day 4 of 14 Days of Summer Fear. I've got 3 stories to share today. I'll get straight into them. Are you ready for the first story? Always bugged me, even years later. This happened to me about 3 years ago, and to this day I still don't know what I saw. I always figured it must have been some weird-looking animal. But no, it was definitely humanoid. I hope no one here thinks I'm crazy because of where it happened, considering how many people are usually around. But ever since this encounter, I never, ever hang around natural parks or those semi-wild places where you need your high beams at night. I always get the feeling I'm being watched. Anyways, this happened near the Santa Monica Mountains, near Los Angeles / Malibu. I kept bugging my boyfriend at the time because I wanted to see shooting stars. It was late summertime, by the way, and obviously living in LA means smog and light pollution everywhere. You have to drive a minimum of 2 hours to find a good viewing spot. We wanted to stay closer though, and picked those mountains since they had nice reviews, and I'd been there before with no problems. I wasn't the only one with the same idea, because there was a meteor shower that night. Near the entrance of the park, some people already had their telescopes set up. My dumb, introverted idea was, let's go past these people so we can be alone. It was dumb, yes. We went past the parking lot and onto what looked like a trail. He agreed, and we picked a lonely spot. We did see another couple staying nearby, but that was it. The walk was less than a mile, and that couple eventually disappeared towards some rock formation nearby. I laid my blanket down, and the meteor shower did not disappoint, but the hairs on the back of my neck stood straight up. Goosebumps. I felt like I was being watched. I turned around and saw nothing. My boyfriend kept telling me to calm down, that I was imagining things, especially because we had basically illegally parked like everyone else. I didn't want my car impounded, so he brushed it off as paranoia. But it felt like we were being stalked, and I had the most horrible feeling. We'd only been sitting there maybe 10 minutes when I said I wanted to go home, because something really was watching us. Then I saw a single coyote. Now, coyotes are small, but they do hunt in packs from what I knew. And this one was alone. It went into a bush, or at least I assumed it did, because I lost sight of it. But that horrible feeling was still there. On top of that, my boyfriend kept cracking jokes, saying I was paranoid and afraid of a little coyote. But respectfully, I did not want to be bitten. I started speed walking back toward the car. My boyfriend kept making fun of me, asking me to slow down. Then I turned around. That's when I caught a glimpse of it. There were street lamps along the trail, and this thing was avoiding the light. Next to it was the coyote from earlier. It had stopped, and that thing was hyperfixated, its face pressed into the ground, exactly where I'd been standing earlier. I didn't get a good look until it stepped partly under a light and turned sideways. I felt pure dread. I wanted to run, but I was wearing flip-flops and knew I'd probably eat dirt. My boyfriend still wasn't helping. He started calling out, saying it was just a dog or a messed up coyote. But once it stepped under the light, his laughter disappeared. I also noticed something else. Usually at night you hear crickets, bugs, all that. But when that coyote and this thing appeared, silence. Total silence. I knew something was wrong. Compared to the coyote, this thing was bigger, was way bigger. I honestly don't even know how it hid. That's how large it was. It had no fur, just grey or pale skin. It looked like a human bent down on all fours. Everything about it was wrong. It had no snout. It looked bald, no ears, nothing like a coyote, not even a starving one. It looked human, but not really. Its legs were strange, more like a dog's or a cat's. Its fingers were abnormally huge, long and skinny. Its backbone stuck out sharply, and its stomach was tucked in like a starving dog. Then it started following us, face still pressed low to the ground, moving quickly in our direction. We started to jog, trying to stay quiet. I was trying hard not to cry because that thing looked like the monster from Pan's Labyrinth. That's the closest comparison I can give, so you can imagine. Once we saw police cars kicking people out of the area, I felt relieved. We got into my car and didn't speak the whole ride back. We both had nightmares about that thing for a week straight. I told my brothers and family about it. Some said it was a Nahul, a witch from my culture that transforms into animals. Others said a skinwalker or a nightcrawler or whatever. All I know is I am never going out in the wilderness parks at night again, especially with someone who has the survival skills of a turnip. Even now, whenever I'm at a natural park with friends or family for a trip or hike, I'll catch a glimpse of a coyote here and there just staring at me. For my own peace of mind, I stopped going altogether. Never wear your flip-flops when you're going to the woods. That's my piece of advice from this story. The 3 stories I'm sharing today are all about odd creatures in the woods, so there is a bit of a theme going on. And wait for the 3rd one, which is great. They're all great. But what was this? Terrifying. I've been out actually to one of, I can't remember, I think they call it Dark Skies or something. That, you know, it gets these awards and it's meant to be where you can go and see the stars at their brightest in England, UK. And I went with Rog once. And we had to do a bit of a hike. And it was Dartmoor, I think. This Dark Skies place, or was it Black Skies? I can't remember. So we went for a hike with our tour in the middle of the night. The kids didn't want to come. We were away at the time. And it was freaky. Like the stars, I was just like, oh yeah, you can see them. But it wasn't anything amazing. So maybe we just had a bad night. But I was sort of led down with a coat on, led down in the grass. And Rog was doing some photography and stuff like that, you know. And I just found it really scary. And then on the way back, I was freaking out a little bit. Because you know when you can see things in the distance and you're like, is that a creature or is it a fence post? I'm not sure which one. So great though. I do love to get scared. Are you ready for the 2nd story? Creepy camping experience. My husband, 33 male, and I, 34 female, are avid campers. Rain or shine, snow or ice, we go camping year-round all across Ontario. For the most part, it's always an incredibly relaxing and fun time. We do have our favourite parks, but always look to explore new ones. A few years ago, we heard about a little campground a few hours north of where we live and decided to check it out over the Labour Day weekend and into the following week. Personally, Labour Day weekend is the best to go because, if you can take the time, the parks are typically busy during the actual weekend. But because it's the last day of the summer, they completely empty out on the Monday straight Tuesday, because families are going back to work and school. Another plus is that typically, the farther the park, the less busy it will be, because people who live in the city don't normally drive up that far for a couple of days, at least in our experience. So we get to the park. Not only is it beautiful, but as we suspected, it was quite empty. There were only a couple of other families there on the first day we arrived. Unfortunately, the weather on the first night ended up not being the best, and after a night of rain, we saw the other campers packing up and leaving. We went for a walk and very quickly noticed we had the entire place to ourselves. Legit, it was empty, aside from us. For the next couple of nights, we just did our normal activities of exploring, cooking great food, playing board games, etc. On what turned out to be our last night, the rain came back and was really heavy. We decided to stick it out and just hang around our site. As it was getting later, I couldn't help but get an eerie feeling, but brushed it off because it was dark, rainy. We were alone and a thunderstorm was coming in. After dinner, we decided we'd head to bed early. We cleaned up our dishes, put away our food, and retired to our tent. The reason I say this is to highlight there was no food/dishes left out, as to not attract any animals. By that time, the thunder was really loud and lightning had started. Despite all the weather, we somehow were able to fall asleep. I'm not sure at what time, but at some point I ended up waking up in the middle of the night. The thunder was dying down, but the lightning was so close, stroke intense, that every time it flashed, it would light up our sight and I could see shadows of the trees, picnic table, etc., outside through the tent. I remember laying there for a few moments just watching and turned to my husband who was asleep beside me, completely unbothered. After a few moments, that eerie feeling came back, and at an overwhelmingly intense rate. I started getting super spooked, but realised I couldn't really move, as I was starting to internally panic. That was when not only did I hear, but I saw something moving around outside the tent. First I couldn't believe it, but as the lightning kept lighting the sight up, 100,000% there was a large bipedal figure moving around outside our tent and on the site. I couldn't move. All I could do is watch as it crept closer and closer to our tent door. From what it looked like, the shadow was a humanoid figure, much taller than a person with a larger head. Terrified, I just watched as who or whatever this thing was started coming into our tent. But it didn't open the tent, rather just came through it. At that point I must have blacked out due to fear, because when I woke up, it was the morning and my husband was cooking food. To say I was freaked out was an understatement. We had probably camped at least 50 times by this point, and had never experienced anything like that before. I told my husband and he kind of brushed it off pretty quickly, saying I most likely just had a bad dream. Now, I do get sleep paralysis, so thought maybe. I had never experienced it that vividly before. It was so incredibly real, and the fact I could move around at first was very different from any experience I'd had in the past, i.e., I'd essentially wake up paralysed. Anyways, because I was extremely freaked out and couldn't shake the uneasy feeling, he started packing up and we decided to leave that day. A few months later, I randomly brought up this story to him. As I was explaining what I experienced, he then confessed to me that he had lied to me that morning. As per him, that night he had also woken up at some point and saw a person-like figure creeping around outside too. He assumed he was just having a bad dream. He too felt uneasy in the morning, but he didn't want to say anything to me as he didn't want to freak me out. He told me when I then got up and shared I saw it too, it validated to him he wasn't just dreaming. Neither one of us really checked out the site for footprints or anything, as we both thought at the time it was a bad dream. But because of the heavy rain, I don't think we would have been able to see anything anyways. We still go camping, lol, but that was one of two of the scariest experiences we've had in an Ontario park. We've talked about it since and have no idea what it was. Was there a person lurking around? Was it something paranormal? Did we both just have the same shared sleep paralysis episode? When I think back to the visual of this being, it almost seemed unearthly, maybe alien, especially how it just seemed to glide through and into our tent. No idea, but thought I would share to hear others' thoughts or similar experiences. So another, told you didn't I, another bipedal creature. Just think of this if you're going camping this year, alright? I'll leave that with you. I'm kind of glad the husband didn't say anything. I would expect that of Rog. Don't you dare tell me until everything is packed, we're in the car and we're out of there. Then you can mention it. Like if we stop for a McDonald's on the way home, at that point you can mention it. Are you ready for the third and final story? I once encountered a being that had me frozen in fear. Several years ago, I want to say maybe 2009 or 10, I'd seen what I can only call a being while out at summer camp in Hawaii. I still remember it vividly, but have no idea what it was. Back then, I was in Boy Scouts, and one night, during summer camp at Pupukia, I had to go up to the main lodge for a meeting. I believe it was for Order of the Arrow, and as Boy Scouts do, I had another scout with me to walk back to camp once the meeting was done. By this time it was pretty dark, and we had one flashlight between the two of us, so my scout held it as we walked back down to camp. He had his eyes down at the circle of light the entire time and didn't see a thing. Right before we had entered the path between the campsites, not far from the lodge, I'd decided to look up, and I'd seen this giant simply walking through the trees, crossing the path we were heading down. At that moment, I froze in fear and stared at it. Right as it hit the pathway, it turned and looked at me, and we stared at each other for what felt like an eternity, but was really several seconds. And then it had turned back and headed down the hill the way it was originally going. It took me a second to compose myself, and then I caught up with my scout, and I tried asking if he saw any of that, and he didn't see anything. The being that I had seen was very tall. I'm bad at guessing height, but was probably over 60 feet. The trees along the path were tall, and the tips of the trees would be right under its shoulders. It had white legs, and the entire body was outlined in a reddish glow. It had spikes on top of its head and red, beady eyes, but from the torso up was black. It could have been just because it was very dark, but it looked black. I've tried telling others about it, but almost everyone has never heard of something with that description. One person said that it sounded familiar, but they couldn't remember what it was called. And then I never really saw them after that conversation. It's honestly a core memory of mine, and I remember every detail, including the fear.
Losing weight can feel like a roller coaster, full of ups, downs, and being thrown for loops, like when someone brings donuts into the office, or your kids' dino nuggets start giving you that look again. That's why there's Noom. They combine GLP-1s to quiet the food noise with healthy habits that help you keep it quiet, even if you get off the meds. Their program is designed to make weight loss a smooth ride, helping you understand what drives you, so you can build better habits to not just lose weight, but keep it off. Noom. Lose for keeps. Get started at Noom.com. Not all customers will clinically qualify for medications. Individual results may vary.
Don't you wish everything was more rewarding? With Rakuten, almost everything is. You can earn cash back on those new shoes you've been wanting. You can save on the next trip you book. You can cash in on groceries. Just join, shop your favorite brands, and save. And when it's time to redeem those rewards, choose PayPal, check, Bilt points, or cash out with gift cards. Eligible American Express members can choose to earn membership rewards points instead of cash back. Terms and conditions apply. So go ahead, take a trip, fill a card, order dessert. Rakuten is a world of rewards. Join today for free. Go to Rakuten.com or get the app. That's Rakuten.
This is great, wasn't it? I've never had a giant in a story, I don't think. It reminds me of that, I think it's an Austrian or Swedish film, Troll. I love that movie. It's one of my favourite creature features, for sure. I love the idea of just walking along, you look over and you see massive legs walking in tandem with you. Terrifying, but awesome. Well, that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed. And if you're out there camping, be careful. Take care, everyone.
For your tushy, it's made by angels, soft and strong, budget friendly. The choice is simple, a roll that feels like paradise, and always at a heavenly price. Angel soft, soft and strong, so it's simple.
Pick up a pack today.
Angel soft,
Soft and strong, simple.
I like things my way. My coffee, my schedule, and my treatment. So I talked to my doctor about self-injecting with the VivGuard Hytrulo prefilled syringe, which contains Efgartigimod alpha and hyaluronidase QVFC. It's injected under your skin, subcutaneously. It means I can inject in my space, on my time. It's my treatment, my way. Visit VivGuardMyWay.com. That's VYVGART myway.com. And talk to your doctor about VivGuard Hytrulo. Brought to you by Argenix.
The stories told on the Whispering Woods are inspired by historical records, witness reports, and local folklore. While every effort is made to research and represent events accurately, some details, names, and locations may differ from official accounts or have been changed out of respect for those involved. These episodes are created for storytelling and entertainment purposes and should not be considered definitive fact or investigative journalism.